Good evening, folks, and welcome to another special Advent episode of Beer Rating with Sean Connors. In case you haven't been following me last week or so, basically I got an Advent calendar just like one you got when you were a kid, but instead of the chocolate behind the doors, it's a German beer. All German beers. I know the 24 beers that are in the calendar, but I don't know which one I'm going to get which day. So it's a bit of a crapshoot, which I'm enjoying. Tough life, but somebody has to do it. As I said, they're all German beers. They're all from small breweries in Germany, so it's not beers that you're probably going to see at your local pub liquor store unless you're in Germany. And with that being said, we'll open up the next day and see what we got. So today is day 11 of the calendar. And where are we to? Day 11 right here. I'll pop it open. I'll show it to you before I actually get a chance to look at it. So you'll have an idea basically what I'm getting before I do. Alright. I've yet to have a bad beer in the calendar. Some I've liked obviously other than others. And okay, it's English on both sides. Actually, this is different because all the beers I've been getting, there's very English on it. This one is a Bavarian Lager. It says Grandl Lager beer. So it's another Helles, which is kind of like a Pilsner. It was actually made to compete with the Pilsner. It says aged patiently for a cold color and a classy taste. Alright. I seem to be getting a lot of Helles, Pilsner, they're both lagers. Actually, all the beers here, no, sorry, not all the beers, but we're getting a lot of Helles, a few Pilsners, a few wheat ales. All, beers that you typically expect from Germany. And this one gives a brewery alcohol content 5.1. And that's about it. So I don't think I'm going to have anything on my cue card specifically for Bavarian Lager. It does say it's a Helles Lager beer. So we'll see what we got. I'll try the app, see what the app says. If they designate it as a Helles specifically, I'll go back to the cards and I'll read basically the information for Helles, which I've done several times, but in case you haven't been following me all along. This app, it's beertasting.app. Basically, I take a picture of the beer, and when I do, it checks its database and basically gives me a little bit of information. Okay, so the beer type is a Helles Lager, 5.0. They say 5.1 on the can. It's bottom fermented. That just means it's a lager. That's how the yeast operate. A little bit of information they give. They say I'm going to apologize right off the bat because there's a lot of German words here. I know I'm going to bastardize them when I say them. They say the Anker Brauerei, it's a brewery in Nordlingen, Germany, is a regional brewery owned and operated by a family with brewing tradition that dates back over 400 years. All the beers are brewed traditionally. Base ingredients are sourced from regional suppliers. The beer especially pours clear golden, topped with a small white head. Taste is lightly sweet with hints of caramel and apples. Lightly sweet up front with very mild bitterness by the aftertaste, with a touch of dryness in the finish. Alright, and as we said, it's a little Helles, so I'm going to just read you information that I get from Helles here. The color, they're going to say straw to light gold. Bitterness is a 2 out of 5. Alcohol content for Munich Helles. They say this is a Bavarian, but it's the same area. Alcohol content is 4.7 to 5.4. That's normal for a Helles, so we're in that range. It says similar in alcohol appearance to a German Pils, but malt balance so that it shows off the bready flavor of the Pilsner malt. History: formulated in the 1890s, compete with Pils style beers. Today is an everyday drinking beer of Bavaria. And they just have, they say related styles, Fest beer, German Pils, and International Pale Lager. There you go, a little bit of information. Now I'm going to give my glass a quick cold water rinse, and then we'll pour it up. And I'll give a rating. And my ratings, as per usual, out of 5, with a 1 being don't like it, it's going down the drain. A 2 being it's not my cup of tea, but I'm not going to waste it, so I'll finish it. A 3 is a good beer. A 4 is a very good beer, and a 5 beer is the heavens opened up and just poured a beer. So it definitely fits in the range of color. They said, I believe, straw to golden. And this is a very clear beer. A lot of the ones we've had have been fermented in the can or unfiltered. This is obviously filtered. I mean, it's you can see right through it. Not a lot of head, a little bit there. Aroma, pretty well your typical beer aroma. Now, for taste-wise, let's see what we're going to get here. It's an easy drinking beer, that's for sure. Typical with your Hells. Your Hells, like I said, it's closely related to Pilsner, which is basically all the big macro breweries in North America. You know, your Budweisers, your Labatts, your Coors, your Molsons. Most of those are Pils. Now, most of those are Pils. However, in Canada, and I believe the States, but for Canada, I think there's the macro breweries, they can have up to 109 different ingredients in their beers. So that's a lot of items. Whereby these beers, they all go by the purity laws of 1516 in Germany, which basically says the only ingredients you can have is your water, your hops, your barley, and your yeast. And they made an exception for wheat ales that you could add wheat. So you're not going to get a lot of the additives that you're going to get from your typical microbreweries. It's not a bad beer. It's light, refreshing, crisp. Your typical words to describe the lager. Nothing too exciting. I like a beer, like this would be one of the beers that if I'm going on back in my Navy days, we'd say going on a run if you're going out drinking with the boys. And you know you're going to be drinking quite a few. This would be an easy beer to do that with. However, now in my current age, I mean, I'm not really one for going out on benders on a regular basis. I'm more one to sit down, enjoy 1 or 2 beers. This would be an easy one back in the day to spend a night drinking on. There is a bit of a sweetness there. Not a lot of aftertaste as such, but your initial taste, it's not bad, it's just different. I'm not sure, I think they mentioned sweet apples. Let me just go back to that. And lightly sweet up front with very mild bitterness, but the aftertaste with a touch of dryness in the finish. Taste is lightly sweet with hints of caramel and apples. I'm not really getting the caramel, but the apples, I would agree. It's funny because when you take this sip, you take a drink, you almost seems like a little bit of zestiness to it, kind of on your tongue. You can feel it. All right, for me to give a rating to the Grandl Hells Lager beer, this is the gold. I can't really read that. Sorry. Alright, I got to give it a rating. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I think I'm going to give it a 3, which means it's a good beer. Definitely going to finish it. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. I would definitely have another one in the future. However, I don't think it's one that I'd be, you know, if I went back to Germany, I don't think it'd be one of these ones I said, oh my God, can't wait to get my hands on another. It's not a bad beer, but it's kind of your typical lager, with that being said. So I think my rating of 3.0, I think I'm going to stick with that. So there you go, folks. That's my rating for day 11 of my beer advent calendar. Hopefully you can join me tomorrow when we hit the halfway mark with day 12. Until next beer, as always, enjoy responsibly. Cheers.